Good morning, evening, afternoon. Welcome to the video. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Maestro. I thought it'd be cool today if we could go through the Premier League and kind of, because right now we're currently at a halfway point. We are 19 or maybe to 20 games into the season, and the table's kind of established itself quite a bit. But I thought it'd be cool from this point on. We could then make our predictions from here, how we think it will end up. And then at the end of the season, kind of come back to it and see what I got right or what I got wrong, and if anything wrong. And also kind of give out my personal choices for the awards of Player of the Season and the Manager of the Season, as well as the Team of the Year, Team of the Season. And this is for the Premier League, just to be clear. So yeah, I mean, I think that would be pretty cool. It's kind of a cool topic idea. It's pretty common, but yeah, I think I'd just like to get started. So let's start with the it says regulation for some reason. I don't know why. Let me just change the relegation. There we go. Let's start with the relegation, 20 to 18. So currently, right now, this is how it looks. Southampton, Everton, Bournemouth are in the relegation zone. And I'm going to start straight away by putting these two in straight away. Where are they? Southampton at 20th. Bournemouth at 19th. Let's do it this way. I do think that these two are kind of surefire going down. I know that, I mean, they're not that far off safety, but ultimately I think just watching them play, they do seem more flat than any other team. And also, there just doesn't seem any hope for the future. There's just nothing that seems to be changing within the market or within any managerial changes that looks like that this could turn around. So it's kind of easy for me to put those two in there. They're currently in the zone right now, and I'll leave them now. I'll leave them there for the end of the season for now. That's my prediction. Now, for 18th, this is where it gets tricky, because currently Everton are actually 19th. They're not 18th, but 19th. And the teams floating around are Leicester, Leeds, Wolves, and Everton. And West Ham, of course. Forgot about them. But with the managerial change, as well as the squads that these three teams have, I can't see them going down. And these three are West Ham, Everton, Wolves. I think they have just far too many good players, and their managers are just far too superior to succumb to relegation. It's been a rough road. They've been fucking awful, but I think they'll overcome, and they'll do just about enough to be safe next season. So with that being said, I'm putting Leeds. I like Leeds. I think they're a very passionate side, but ultimately, actually, do you know what? Let me take that back. They're very vocal, very loud team, but ultimately you don't see that effort on the pitch. You actually don't. They seem passionate, but they're really not. And a coach that it's his first time out in the Premier League, and ultimately I think he did okay last season, but it's just not good enough. And I never saw this coming a year ago. I thought they'd be safe, but they've been bad, and I can't see them playing well and maybe just racking up a few points. But ultimately, I just think West Ham, Everton, Leicester, they will be better. And Wolves, I just think they have a much better squad with a much better manager, and ultimately they will be the sides that will be safe. And I think Leeds, Bournemouth, and Southampton are going down. So those are my three going down. Let's go to the Europa League, 5th and 6th. Actually, you know what? Let's do position 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we'll start with 6th place. So currently, right now, Brighton is 6. They are tied with Fulham, actually. But let's just give my take. So at 6th place, this might be a surprise to many of you. To some, not. But to me, this might be crazy, but I'm just gonna go with it. I mean, I'll explain. 6th place, Newcastle. Okay. I am not putting Newcastle. So Newcastle are currently 4th, and I'm not putting them at 6th because I think they'll be bad in the second half. I do think they'll rack up less points than they did in the first half, but I still think they'll be somewhat the same. I put them at 6 because I think teams like Liverpool, who yes are currently 9th, will pick it up to the point where they will finish 5th. I trust in Klopp. I trust in those players to kind of somewhat salvage the season. Their team is far too good for this. I mean, people question City's fall off, but City haven't fallen off. They've stumbled. At best, you can say they've stumbled. Liverpool have fallen off. That's fallen off is the correct term to use for Liverpool. City have stumbled. This team has fallen off a cliff. But I do think they will somewhat salvage the season. I know Nunes is just, I mean, he has been absolute. I mean, I haven't seen a finisher as bad as Nunes in any top 6 side in my entire life. But I think if they just keep working on his finishing in the training ground and kind of to sharpen it a little bit, to be more smart with his plays, I think ultimately that combined with Klopp and what he can do as a manager and the level of this side and the passion they have in this side, as well as I think Salah will start to pick up. And as well as Gakpo starting to finally hit what he's worth, I do think he'll come good. I think that will push them up to 5th. I think it'll be tight, but I do think they'll finish above Newcastle at 5th. Now, of course, Newcastle are 4th right now, which means they've gone 2 places down. And I just said that one of the teams that will be taking their places is Liverpool. Now, the other team that will be taking their place is, I think, Tottenham. I think Tottenham are finishing 4th. I think people have kind of gone over the edge with how bad they are. It's not so much that they're bad, it's that there doesn't seem to be a future for them. That's why people are kind of horning them down. They aren't great, but I thought they're a good, solid side with a fantastic manager that can get results. And I think they'll kind of march their way into 4th. It won't be a fast march, it'll be slow and steady. It will be smart football, intelligent football that I think, alongside Harry Kane, with Son, hopefully for them, picking up form, which, I mean, you've got to imagine he will at some point, as well as Kulusevski being a fine player, which, by the way, I heard he might go out on loan. Hopefully that's not true for them. As well as they have made a few signings as well. I think they have a solid enough defense with a good enough midfield and a fantastic forward system with an amazing manager that can get enough out of them to get them 4th. Now, even if they are 4th, I think Tottenham still need to kind of revisit the whole situation with Conte and see if he is the guy to take them to the future. But for now, for this season, I think he will be enough. And these players will be enough to get 4th. Alright, 3rd, I think United 3rd. So they're currently 3rd now. This is not hard for me. Ten Hag. Let me tell you what I think about Ten Hag real quick, just in a quick little story. So as an Arsenal fan, years ago, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signed for United, I celebrated. As an Arsenal fan, I was very happy he signed. He came in as an interim. I believe that's how it went, and he did well for a few games, and ultimately United then went, okay, you have the job. And I was so happy because they were stuck in the honeymoon phase. And I knew that once he left, they wouldn't be in a much better position than when he joined. But when Ten Hag signed, I said, and I quote, shit. I said shit because he's a fantastic manager. He's done a great job at Ajax. I mean, they love him over there, and look how they withered away without him. And I know they've lost players as well, but Ten Hag was the biggest loss. They lost Anthony, they lost this player and that, they lost Lissandro, but their biggest loss was Ten Hag. And ultimately, he's gone off to a great start. I do think they will lower it down this season. They're currently 11 points off Arsenal. I think those 11 points will actually extend. I do think they'll lose a few more games this season, but Ten Hag has kind of really put them on the right track, and I'm kind of, if I was a neutral, I'd be excited to see what's next for this United team under Ten Hag. I think if you give him the right amount of money and the amount of control to invest in players that he wants, I think you've got something special there. But we will see. We will see. Okay, so now we're down to second and first. Of course, Arsenal and City are the two teams. They are the two teams. The top two now is Arsenal first, City second. And I'll start. I am not confident about this at all. If I'm wrong, I can completely understand. If I look back and see that I was way off, I'll get it. But you see, my heart tells me Arsenal because I'm an Arsenal fan. And for quite a while, my mind told me City. But my mind, my heart, and my gut is telling me Arsenal will win the Premier League and City will finish second. Reason being is because, so a lot of people bring up the fact that Arsenal need to play City twice, and that's why City will catch up to Arsenal. Now keep in mind they are 5 points ahead Arsenal with a game in hand. Just to keep that in mind. But here's the thing. After watching that FA Cup tie, I feel confident that Arsenal will at least get a draw at the Emirates on the 15th of February. And ultimately, if they can get a draw and a loss, that's okay. Because here's the thing, City need to beat Arsenal. Arsenal don't need to beat City. If they can get a draw at the Emirates and kind of scratch a draw by the Etihad, that's fantastic. But here's the thing, I don't think they're going to get a draw. I think they're going to beat them. I think they'll beat City at the Emirates. And that is that their next game is at the Emirates on the 15th of February. And I think Arsenal will win that game. If not, then draw. And either way, that's perfectly fine. Because once again, we need to make this very, very, very clear. City need to catch Arsenal, not the other way around. It's City that they need to hunt. Arsenal need to run away. City are the ones that are kind of on the hunt now. They need to catch them. So they need to win. And with that being said, I do think they will beat City or at least draw on the 15th. And I guess, I'm perfectly fine saying that City will beat Arsenal at the Etihad, but that still won't be enough. And ultimately, I don't see. I think City will still drop points. You know, when they beat Spurs 4-2, scoring 4 second half goals, and then beat Wolves 3-0, and then they beat Arsenal 1-0. People are telling me that they're back, that they're now ready for the charge. Against Spurs, they were very vulnerable. Those 4 goals they scored were very, very poor from Spurs. Goals that normally Spurs would never concede. It was a very odd game. Those against Wolves could have scored 1, 2, maybe 3 goals themselves. They are vulnerable. Arsenal fielded pretty much their second/first team. It was filled with second-tier players. Many starters on the bench. Some not there because of injuries. I do think City will continue to stumble. And whilst I don't think Arsenal will have the 50 points that they had in the first half, they'll get enough to keep City at bay. I really do think this, and ultimately that is the reason why I think they will win the Premier League. And now I'm not 100% confident about this. This is the one thing that I could switch this easily. I could switch it easily, but I'm gonna go with my gut, my heart, and my brain, which is telling me Arsenal will win the league. You know, usually the Premier League has a history of great teams falling off, and they don't tend to salvage it. They don't tend to salvage it to the point where they can overcome such a point difference. I'm sure City will begin to steady the ship. They'll get like 6 wins in a row at some point, but I think Arsenal will do that too. And Arsenal may stumble, but so will City. I think they'll continue to stumble as well. I think City's issues will 100% be fixed in the summer, not now. They'll fix those in the summer. Right now, they don't have enough time. So with that being said, yeah, this is my predictions. Arsenal to win the league, top 4. So Arsenal 1, City 2, United 3, Spurs 4, Liverpool 5th, Newcastle 6, and to go down into the Championship, Leeds, Bournemouth, and Southampton in that order. Now, let me know what you think. Do you think Arsenal will take it? Do you think that Liverpool? I actually want to know about this. Do you think that they could salvage somewhat to the point where they can get some form of European football next season? And Spurs too. Am I wrong to really just look? Am I completely wrong to just completely say Newcastle will drop 2 places? Let me know. And are these the 3 that are going down, or do you have Everton in here, or do you have Leicester in here, or Wolves, or who else was it? West Ham. Let me know down below. I've even heard some people say that maybe Chelsea could bring it back, but look, they've made many signings, but they're all young, they're all new, and it's a new manager, and I think they'll need time to. Next season they'll be a threat, but right now I think Chelsea will finish around 7th, just shy of 6th. But yeah, I don't think they'll finish above Newcastle. So yeah, this is my predictions for the season, for the table. My apologies. And I'm actually not done, because now I want to go and talk about who I think will be the player, manager, and team of the season. Actually, let me scratch that. Not who I think will become, but who I think is currently the player of the season, currently the manager of the season, and currently the team of the season as we're halfway through. And let's start with the player. Haaland. Easy. Okay, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is just easy. He is bagging in goals for fun. I've heard some people say Odegaard, but no. No. I understand that Arsenal are above City, but come on, he's doing something we've never seen in the league before, ever. And it deserves a PFA or Premier League Player of the Year trophy award at the end of the season. No matter where City finish, he deserves that. Simple. Arteta, simply because he will be taking a team not ready to win a Premier League title to win a Premier League title. He is doing that currently. Arsenal are ahead of schedule. Make no mistake. This wasn't a part of Arteta's plan. This is a bonus. His plan was to get into the top 4. That was the path of progression. They are ahead of schedule. And it's because of Odegaard, yes. Partey, Saka, yes. But mainly because of this man right here. He is so far the coach / manager of the season. Now, team of the season. Here it is. And I'll start from the goalie and explain why. Alisson. I really struggled between Alisson and Nick Pope. Nick Pope has been fantastic. He has the most clean sheets. But I think that's mainly because of their defense and not because of him. Alisson, on the other hand, is the best goalie in the world, and he is performing like that. Liverpool are struggling. He is not one of those players that are struggling. He is absolutely sublime. Sure, you can find a few passes from him from out the back where he's misplaced it, but ultimately he's been perfect. Right back, Trippier. Hold on, actually, let me explain something. I'm choosing 1 goalie, 2 centre-backs, 2 full-backs, 3 midfielders, 3 forwards, no matter the position. And I'll explain what that means in a bit. So right back, I have Trippier. The best fullback in the league this season. It's between him and White. I have them both in here, but Trippier for me takes the cake. Ben White is here at left back because I know he's a right back / centre back, but mainly right back this season. But I think White and Trippier have been so much better than all the left backs this season that I think I'd have to put them here. So I kind of just overlooked that role and just kind of went, you know what, I'm gonna put White as the next fullback. He's been sublime, fantastic for quite a while now. Very strong, very smart, very intelligent player. Ultimately, you can rely on him always. He did struggle against United, although I mean something kind of fell off, but ultimately he's been amazing the entire season, and maybe you could say Arsenal's best defender, honestly. The two centre-backs, Botman, Silva. Let's start with Botman. I can't not put a Newcastle defender, a Newcastle centre-back on this list, on this team, sorry. They are the best defensive team in the league. Their shape is sublime, and ultimately this man is at the helm, and he's been perfect. Thiago Silva, the most underrated footballer on the planet right now. Easily. For me, this man, and I want you to listen closely, I spoke about this on my Guardian video a few days ago, and I'm going to say it again right now. Thiago Silva, for the past 2 years, has been the best centre-back in world football. I understand Chelsea have been, for, long story short, shit. But this man has been the shining light. It's not his fault. I have not seen any other centre-back in world football in the last 2 years have as much as a positive effect on his team than Thiago Silva. This man is unreal. Give him the credit he deserves. It's not just about trophies. This is an individual award, and him alone, he is the best centre-back in world football. Sure as hell the best in the Premier League. Midfield. Alright. So, by the way, I should mention some honourable mentions. So, left back, honourable mention is Luke Shaw, Zinchenko and Cancelo. Fantastic, but I think I'm going to go with White. Trippier, there are no honourable mentions. It's him or White. I put Trippier and White, but there's no one else that comes close. The two centre-backs, I think Saliba, Varane and Lisandro Martinez deserve a mention, as well as Gabriel. I think they've been perfect. Not perfect, but they've been great. But I give the edge to Botman. Also, Fabian Schär has been also great for Newcastle. He's been fantastic. But Botman, Silva, for me, get the nod. Midfield. Honourable mentions, real quick, just for the midfield. Casemiro, Xhaka, and Maddison. But I went with Odegaard because this doesn't need to be explained. You know what? I'm not going to explain Odegaard. You know why. De Bruyne, I will explain De Bruyne. People see De Bruyne is suffering from how he usually always plays. Because he's not usually playing pretty much perfect football like he always does. People are doing what's called an overcorrection. They're going too far and saying he's shit. He still has around 12 assists in the league. Yes, he has Haaland, but that's still ridiculous. And he does many other stuff too. He is still the best player in the league and the second best midfielder in the league this season. I understand he's not playing as great as he always does, but he's still De Bruyne and he's still pretty darn great. He's better than Casemiro this season. He's better than Maddison this season. He's better than Xhaka this season. He belongs here. Partey. Here's the thing. People will bring up Casemiro instead of Partey. Casemiro has played 12 games in the league this season, but 4 of them were as subs. And he also started not too well. Partey, I believe, has played around 18 games this season, starting all of them. This man, whilst I do think Casemiro is a better player, his performances have been just as good as Casemiro, and he's done it for a longer time. He's played more games than him. So I go for Partey. Front three. Haaland, there are no honourable mentions. It's clearly him. I'm not going to explain I believe he has 25, 27 goals right now. He will break the record easily. Enough said. Kane. This is the same with De Bruyne. Because his team isn't performing that well, people are really overlooking just how great he's been. He has, I believe, around 17 to 18 goals in the league this season, and no one's talking about it. And it's because of Haaland, but it should still be noted he has been amazing, and he deserves to be here. An honourable mention though is a Rashford. Here's the thing with Rashford. Like Casemiro, I mean, well, not he's played a lot of games, Rashford, but I don't think he started the season well. I think there's a lot of recency bias coming out where Rashford has kind of been on fire and they think that he deserves to be in here. When the season ends, maybe that'll be true. But as of right now, seeing how he started and how Kane's been consistent throughout, I'm going to go with Kane. And Saka, the star boy. Arsenal are top for a reason. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 Arsenal players on this team, and I think that's minimum. They deserve to be here. Saka is the star boy. This man, he gets better week after week after week after week. He continues to improve, continues to surprise me. And I thank God every day that he is in our team. And he's just honestly a delight to watch. I personally myself, I used to think he was a bit boring. I enjoyed watching Foden more than him, but that has changed. Completely, that's changed. I love clicking on the TV, watching Arsenal, and Saka. Well, I love watching Arsenal because it's Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan, but Saka is also a huge positive. He is what Sanchez was, not in terms of the same type of player, but just the level of enjoyment that Sanchez gave me. Saka is doing the same, and the same with Odegaard and Ozil. So there you go. That's it. That's my team of the season. That's all I've covered. Player of the season for me so far is Haaland, and manager is Arteta so far. This is how I think it will end the table. Let me know what you think down below. Please get in, please get involved as much as you can. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. Really, really helps me out. And subscribe for more. I will continue to upload as long as I can, which will be probably forever, you know. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is Maestro. I hope you have a great day. Please take care of yourself. Have a good one.